Hey peeps, Minimal Simmer back. My name is Daps. Good to see you. Alright, so the girl OG Sims. Last week I uploaded a video doing my makeovers of the guys. So yeah, let's kind of get straight into it. Warning in advance, I did not time my voiceovers today, so my parents probably be clattering around in the background. I am really hoping that they don't make too much of a noise. Wish me luck, guys. But we have a lovely bold Babs Lamour here. Babs Lamour. Yeah, playing around with the hair colours. I really just don't like that weird yellow blonde, that Nancy Landgrab blonde. Honestly speaking, like, these guys deserve so much better. So I gave Babs a little, gave her a little ashier colour, that lighter blonde. It looks really nice with her skin tone, to be completely honest. And yes, I did change her name to BB Hart. I can't get behind the name Babs. Like, that's the end all and be all of it. Just the name Babs. I know it's kind of like something, it's very baby boomer, you know what I mean? And I'm sure she can work it, like bring it back into style, but I was a bit like, no. I'm very sorry, no. So I made her into BB Hart, and I did mention in that last part that I think Babs Lamour was meant to be an homage to BB Hart from The Sims 3 anyway. So I just brought her back into The Sims 4. If you guys do download them off the gallery, you can obviously change them around however you want, but she will be BB for me, in my heart. It's a cute name, it suits her. Yeah, I mean, look at her traits. She's clumsy, she's non-committal, she's materialistic, and I think in the original Sims 4 wiki bio, she is meant to be a bartender, right? So just kind of like very quirky, very cute bartender. Ollie and Andre were fighting over her in like the Sims 4 promo materials back in 2014, so like yonks ago. She is a bit of a flirt, she likes getting it on, she likes striking her stuff, she works hard on her body, as you can tell. So like, why shouldn't she show it off? Why shouldn't she get attention, where attention is due? I do kind of get the vibe from her that she's been like pigeonholed as a pretty girl. She's quite conventionally beautiful. She has the blonde hair, the blue eyes, very like European beauty standards. So I wouldn't say that she's never had to work. Oh god, I couldn't believe that was the random formal wear that was given to her. I was just like, no cultural appropriation on my watch, bros. Yeah, so going through giving her some other cute outfits. I kind of feel that she's been pigeonholed as a pretty girl. I think in reality she's probably quite smart, quite witty. She's got that sharp, quick, cruel tongue. And that's probably come about after years of just being told that she's pretty and kind of treated as just this kind of doll that hasn't really got much else substance to her other than the fact that she's so pretty. You know what I mean? And that was kind of the only compliment she ever received. So then she kind of built up this facade as such, this facade of I don't care anyway. I get very Sylvia Plath vibes from her. It's a little bit strange to say, I'm sure it is. But I do get very Sylvia Plath vibes from her. Like, she's just not tortured as such, but like she's quite scathing. She's got a big untouchable air about her, right? Like, she's very much in control of herself, her poise, her presence. She knows what she does to men and women, but she keeps herself untouchable as kind of a safety mechanism, right? So her parents in The Sims 3 were actually both insane, I believe, Beau Hart and I can't remember her mum, but they both had the insane traits. So she kind of grew up in a pretty difficult environment as an only child. So if we're bringing that story into The Sims 4, I kind of had this idea that she is constantly kind of at war with herself, at war with what she grew up in, trying really hard not to become her parents in that sense. So I really felt that she works so hard at keeping herself untouchable, having as much kind of superficial contact and love and validation from other people, but she doesn't really like getting involved with many people on an emotional level, on a deeper connective level, because she doesn't want to have to deal with that. She doesn't want to have to get close to people when she's already so much at war with herself. That being said, I have put her and Andre, as you can see in the corner, in the same house. There is a reason for that. When you see both of them on the gallery, with no CC, the ones that I've uploaded to the gallery, by the way, just reiterating, so it should work fine in your gameplay. but I really feel that they would work. They're very different personalities, but something about them really seems to cancel each other out. I think that they could be quite stable together as a partnership. But yeah, I have a whole storyline going for them. They are going to feature quite prominently in the Let's Play that I will have going up. I said originally at the end of this month, but that's this weekend, so probably not. But over the summer, the Let's Play that I will have going up on my YouTube channel, they do feature quite heavily in them because I wanted to give them... I wanted to like breathe some life into them, you know? But yeah, she has a cute little gap tooth, which we'll get to in the kind of makeup and CC section of this as well. I do all the makeup separately because that just took so much longer than I anticipated. Now, Cassidy. Lovely little Cassidy Perdue. So she is Ollie's twin sister. I do have a feeling that she's definitely the dominant twin out of the two of them. I don't know if she'd necessarily be older, but I do get the feeling that she is the more dominant personality. Ollie's a fair bit more go with the flow, see where the wind takes him, just wants to live a very simple, basic life. Cassidy is all about grabbing the bull by the horns, making her own way in this world, charging forward in that stance. Like BB, I think she is quite insecure in a lot of ways underneath her very tough facade, right? Like from her original bone structure, just the way her eyes were naturally set in her face, you can see that she likes to give off this air of not being messed with. And I really think that's something that she has cultivated over her many years of life, over her past kind of thing. She is a person of colour and she wants to make it quite far in the music industry, right? That's her calling in life, that's her vocation, her passion. She really wants to be a musician, a jazz pianist to be exact. And I think that going through that path, breaking out of the mould of probably the kind of stable, financially secure life that her parents may have wanted for her and her brother was very difficult for her. As a woman in the industry, as someone who is a person of colour, I think I have the story that she's already been through so many setbacks in getting what she wants. So she does wear this very tough facade not to be messed with. She knows that she has to try 10 times harder than all of her peers just to get where she wants to be in life. So I do have the feeling that that's something that she contends with on a daily basis, and it has made her into this very rough and rugged around the edges woman. You know, she's beautiful, she's sexy, she's gorgeous, but she's also not to be messed with, and she doesn't want that to get in the way of anything else that she may have going on for her. Yes, so she's now like working with her natural hair, right? I know we kind of skipped over this bit. It's a beautiful red. I don't want to change that color. I have the story that once Rihanna released a Loud album, she was so inspired, she dyed her hair and she's never looked back. She's just like, no, this is who I am now. This is all I ever want to be. But I think she's quite new to her natural hair journey kind of thing. I can imagine like during school or whatever, she always wore her hair relaxed or she wore a lot of weaves, just kind of, I don't know, for convenience to look like her peers. And now that she's a young woman, kind of in her 20s, she really wants to explore her roots, go back to what God gave her kind of thing. And she really loves playing with its natural textures, just kind of working with it in that sense. And it's something that is a really big source of pride to her, a really great source of pride and strength, considering where she's come from, this battle for acceptance, for validation from wider society, and just her story in general. Yeah, so I've already established her hustle in the jazz piano game. I think she would probably also pick up other gigs to get her by. They're not her main focus. She just, you know, a girl's got to do what she has to do to make her way, pay her bills, put food on the table kind of thing. Ollie does live next door to her. I think starting off, her and Ollie were in the same household, but I think when the game starts, so when you see them in my gameplay, I've put them both in separate households next door to each other, close enough so Cassidy can keep an eye on him, not in like a helicopter sibling kind of way, but I think she's very protective as a person, right? I think she cares a lot about her brother. I have a story that neither of them are that close to their parents because they've pursued such alternative lifestyles in a way, like following the arts instead of that stable picket white fence life. And they're very close, you know, they are twins, yin and yang, the both of them. Ollie's very kind of calm, quiet, Cassidy's very loud, brash, you know, storms forward, probably a little bit impulsively, a little bit recklessly, but they are very close. And she's been worried for the longest time that he wouldn't make it on his own. So she wants to be close by to take care of him, protect him from the harsher truths of life, of the world, and that's kind of where they are when the story starts. I think she probably knows BB from high school. I don't think either of them would have gotten along. I think they seem like they're from such polar opposite worlds and they've lived such different lifestyles that they never got along. They always saw each other as the antithesis to each other. But now they're like seeing more similarities underneath, underneath what's been there before. And I'm really excited to see how their relationship might play out as time goes forward. So that's Cassidy. Beautiful, brash, bold Cassidy. And last but not least, June. I had so much fun playing around with June. She seems like this very like vivacious, spunky character. Not different to the rest of the other Sims that we've encountered so far, but she really seems to be a driving force in a way that's different to the cookie cutter, like tough on the outside, soft on the inside mold that you see, especially with BB and Cassidy. No shade, no tea to them at all. But June is a very different personality, and if I'm honest, I can really see her being the glue that keeps kind of especially the girl group together. And her and Steve in general, her other half, not her better half, just her other half. They're such an amazing couple in their goals for the future, what they're building together as a unit. I can really see them being like what keeps the entire group of friends together in a way, and this kind of really sobering, stable force in and amidst all the baggage and chaos that the others have going on. I tried to give them all very different physiques, right? Because I think that was important. I wanted to like play with different body styles. I know they all kind of fall into like the skinny pretty girl body type, but there are little nuances there. And I don't know, they're young to a certain extent. When you're young, you have the luxury of a body that does bounce back from change, in a way. So I think whatever and wherever the future takes them, for now this is kind of how they are. I put her as a very like straight down woman. She is quite built because she's very not athletic, but she's very hands-on. Like she does a lot of woodworking. Like she went through a phase where she built all of the furniture in the house, so she is a little bit rugged in that regard. I wanted to build that back into her character. That's what it says in her bio anyway. And I did actually alter some of her facial features because something about her really screamed at me AAPI, so like Pacific Islander, that kind of Asian American heritage kind of thing. And I really wanted to put that back into her story. I'm not sure if it's true, but I could really see that being part of her. She's probably like second, third gen, so she has some hold of that influence, but she's not truly connected. So I think that in her life, especially as a young woman, she would go searching for things that take her back to her roots. Very similar in a way to how Cassidy is, right? So in her formal way, you can really see that tribute and honor to it in like the formal dress that she's chosen. I don't really think that she's really a dress person per se, because she does like being quite practical. She loves color, she loves playing around with color, she loves expressing herself through a variety of patterns, a variety of textures, but she also is quite practical and hands-on, right? Like she does a lot of woodworking, she's a foodie, right? I think she wants to be a master chef. Well, I mean, that's her aspiration. So she does a lot of like running around. She's quite a high energy person. Happy-go-lucky, always fixed on a myriad things at once. So she likes having that freedom to her movement kind of thing. Freedom of movement, sorry. Can I speak? Oh, God. So I wanted to give her clothes that would reflect that, but at the same time, she is a woman and she likes seeing that part of herself and like being that for her husband. It's not as age-old a concept as we think it is. If it's something that empowers you as a person and you're secure enough in your relationship that you want to make that choice for each other as well. You want to look good for yourself, but you also want to look good for your partner. I think that's a very common thing that most people in relationships do have, and it doesn't have to take away from yourself or your individual power. If you want to do that, it can be a function of love as opposed to a function of oppression. Personal opinion, probably got a little bit too deep there, but that's just where I stand on the whole issue. Going through her hot weather wear now. Yeah, I mean, she's also a basic gal, quite honestly. I really liked her hair with the pink streak. I really wanted to keep that for her. I think it looks stunning. I think it really works for her. Her and Steve have been married almost 2 years in my head, in my gameplay, so they're not newlywed, but very similar to like a Lily and Marshall vibe from How I Met Your Mother. Like they've been going strong for so long, there was no question that they would get married, and they're just really excited to see what this new chapter of their lives holds for them. Okay, so going into kind of makeup now. You know what? I will say that that is the reason that just doing these makeovers for the girls took so much longer than the guys, because I really wanted to play around with all of these aspects, and like doing makeup, oh my god, for me it just takes the longest time, because I really, you know, these girls all have such different unique styles. I feel like with their makeup they would also have unique go-tos for what they prioritize, what they'd like to do. So BB, I think BB's quite not classic, but I think she likes to have that no makeup look almost at all times. So she is a little bit sultry, but she's also quite neutral with her makeup look. She's very soft glam kind of thing. She's not too bold, too out there. She really just wants to look as perfect as possible, and that's always been her goal, because she wants to look too good for people to want to get to know her in a way. You can see her cute little gap tooth peeking out there. I think she might have like a slight lisp, like not because of the gap tooth, but like it was something that I could see being as part of her personality. A cute little ma in the otherwise perfect, flawless facade that she has going on, something that really does show her up to be like, you know, just a gal underneath all of the stuff that she portrays on the surface. I mean, going through it now, I did save a bunch of these. Just I think the for one thing, the makeup update was much needed, and I'm glad that we put that in there. But the ability to save makeup looks and like levels of opacity and saturation, oh, I'm so glad we have that, because otherwise this just would have taken so much longer. Yeah, classic smoky eye on the party wear, like, you know, very not basic. I mean, I guess you could argue that it is basic in the sense of like style, but like the effort she puts in, like she puts a lot of effort into carefully crafting the front that she puts up, right? Oh, for God's sake, my phone just went off, I'm so sorry. I hope you can't hear it. I mean, now you know anyway. But yeah, that's kind of mainly what it is for BB. I think I put more focus on like her like contouring as opposed to blush, because the blushes are a weird color, right? Like I didn't want to put any CC for makeup per se. I wanted to, even though I do have a few mods in game and a few like cast CC items around, I wanted to keep this so minimal, because I am calling myself minimal simmer, right? I do want to kind of explore the game in a very stripped back, pulled back fashion, just to see if there's a way to make gameplay interesting again, because I think so many of us have been absorbed in this very dry desert kind of pulling at teeth in order to find some fun in The Sims 4 again. It's been really difficult, and I'm sure all of your favorite Sims YouTubers have like really been dealing with this as well. All of us have. I know that we have this really fun like summer of Sims coming up, and there's going to be a lot of cool stuff going in there, but you know, I'm holding out hope. We'll see. I did actually splurge a little bit on the Courtyard Oasis kit because I wanted to, and you will see a build coming out with that in the next few weeks as well, so hopefully you like that too. CC. So with the CC, you know what, with the highlight thing, I think the fact that it's under full face of makeup, I just always forget it exists, and I was a bit like, oh no, the full face kind of thing. So I went back and I found the highlight and I put that back in. That was a really nice addition. I'm so glad for the CC creator they collabed with to put that in game, because it does make a world of difference. Yep, gave her a cute little hip tattoo there, like just a cute little mandala, you know, drawing kind of thing. I can see her being into that. They also gave her bags, you know, because I thought it was cute, I thought it was realistic, I really liked it. Cassidy now, jumping into Cassidy. I gave Cassidy a fair few, like, not hat pieces as such, but I really felt that for Cassidy, even though she would definitely be into makeup, she would also really be into accessorizing. BB not so much, like she just has a few pieces that she throws on here and there, whereas Cassidy really likes expressing herself and her style through all of her adornment, right? So not just her clothes, also like her bracelets, her earrings, her piercings, also her makeup. Like they go hand in hand for her. It's not really one or the other, and that's really how she sets her vibe for whatever gig she's going to or whatever she's going out to do in the day, even if it's just groceries or whatever. She really likes having this whole image that she's constructed for herself. So I think for her, I mainly focused on lips and eyes. When it comes to contouring, again, even though they have played around with skin tone updates and stuff, the makeup, it is a little bit of a letdown on POC. That's a personal opinion. Like, when it comes to darker, deeper tones, I think that we still have worlds to go in terms of like suitable skin tone in the Sims 4 at the very least. So I don't really find a contour color that worked for her, but I also figured that she may not be as into it. For her, I did really want to focus on like the bold, striking lips and like her eye stuff. So I gave her kind of this very subtle brown eyeliner in all of her looks, because it brings like a very much a sharpness to her eyes and her eyebrows, and this natural slant and don't mess with the vibe that she does have going on in her resting bitch face. Am I allowed to say that? I just did. Oh well. It's a bad word if you're under 12. I don't know. But yeah, I do really like this hair on her, you know. Like it's very like classic glam at the same time as being quite urban. I just really love it. I think it looks so good on her. Yes, the hair ups, because you know what? In the natural hair journey, you have to be honest. A girl who's put that much effort into a natural hair is not going to want to get it wet for any reason, under any accord, okay? So in her swimwear, definitely I feel that she would wear like a swim-proof hair wrap, and she'd be very into it, color coordinated with everything else that's going on as well. But also just with her sleepwear, I also gave her a hair wrap, like a headscarf kind of thing, to protect her natural curls as she's sleeping, because that's realistic, right? And it's nice to have that element to the gameplay as well. So yeah, bringing in some gloss here, and yes, her CC. I don't remember exactly what I gave her for a CC. I think, yeah, so I remembered the highlight, and I gave her a bit of highlight as well. I think the main thing I gave her were piercings, because she is a little bit edgier, she is a little bit sexier, sultrier, all of that good stuff. As you can see, I'm playing around here, so this is the minimal cast CC that I was talking about before. I don't want to have too many things in game, but I think, like I mentioned in the last part, I'm not going to buy an entire pack just to get the piercings with it, right? And also some of these are a little bit more subtle. Like, I don't really like the big fat like eyebrow piercings and the big fat nose piercings that we got with Discover University and Eco Lifestyle. It's a bit like, mate, they're a little bit in your face. Like, I get they're in your face, but they're a little bit too much in your face, right? So, look at her. Isn't she gorgeous? God damn, this girl. I'm not crediting myself. I'm just crediting Cassidy, by the way. Very much. What a beauty. And yeah, I love it when she smiles. I think she's so cute. I think she's so gorgeous. I gave her tattoos. I think I did give her a tattoo as well. I gave all of them tats because I figured that that's something that they would all like be into, you know, like that casual adornment, self-expression kind of thing. They're all a little bit rebellious, a little bit spunky, you know. And yes, June. As you can see, I was playing around a bit with like very big smoky makeup. I changed that later on. I just felt that like with the hair that she has going on and like her like spunky personality, she might be a bit of an emo, or she definitely had like emo scene. I wouldn't say e-girl because they're into their 20s now, right? So I don't know if they would have been around for that phase of time, but I can really see that have been being a big part of her youth, and now she's kind of stepping it up a bit. Like that scene emo girl never left her, but now she just expresses herself in different ways on different occasions. She has this really beautiful like slant to her monolid, so I think she plays around with a lot of cat eyes. And again, with June, she really just enjoys expressing herself through colour, through pattern, through print, and I wanted to express that in her makeup as well. So I think I gave her this really cool kind of plum pink shade for her eyeshadow, and it works really nice with the cat eye eyeliner I give her. I think I do give her cat eye eyeliner, and I gave her blush as well, as opposed to the other two. One, because it actually shows up on her skin. No tea, no shade to Sims, but also a little bit of tea, a little bit of shade. You should like burn yourself slightly, okay? Because there needs to be an improvement. But I did give her a very subtle hint of blush because I could see her really enjoying it, and I gave her like a darker lip as opposed to the other two. So Cassidy's is very bold, very bright, BB's is very like natural, just like a hint of gloss kind of thing, whereas you know, June just loves color, and she chooses color that like pulls her outfits together, like a very like soft, quick, swift swipe on and then get out the door kind of thing. She is still a very like practical gal, but she likes looking pretty for herself, and she likes expressing herself in this way, and like there's something about her makeup that I think really pulls all of her features into focus, which is what she's going for in any case. The earrings I give her will explore in her CC, because again, as an homage to her scene days, her emo upbringing in a way, like she just has multiple piercings, and she does not give, she really does not give. Yes, so there is the cat eye eyeliner that I give her. I think with all of them as well, I did want to keep it realistic in the sense that whilst there is some makeup that you can wear swimming and stuff, like the whole putting on makeup just to get in the pool thing, I've never been able to get on board with. And, you know, sleeping, I want to give them good sleep hygiene, good makeup hygiene for sleep, so I don't give any of them makeup when they're asleep, and if I do give them makeup when they're hitting the pool in their swimwear, it's very minimal, and like it's very conscientious and thought through. Did I pronounce that right? I hope so. But yeah, that was my main thing for all of them. I wanted to keep that like realistic, you know. And again, even with their makeup stuff, like the reason that I saved so many of them and I just kind of recycled the same looks is because I think that is also a very realistic way of putting these things together. Not only does it save time, but also it is realistic. If you have certain makeup practices that you're good at, are tried and tested, that you like, you're more likely to stick with them as opposed to try something very different for every single occasion, unless that's very much a part of your character. And for all of these gals, you know, I don't think it is part of their character. I think they know who they are, or they're well on their way to discovering who they are. And yeah, you just really need to ignore the disgustingness that's happening on screen at the moment. I really wanted to give them like realistic body hair. Again, not really a big fan of the Barbie, not aesthetic, but you know, the very like plasticky sheen that so many of our Sims have. I don't have default skins on in the game, I don't think. But yeah, just playing around here. Again, gave her that dragon tattoo. I think that's an homage that she would pay to her heritage as well. Not sure why, but it looked cool on her in any case. And I really like that chest tattoo. I don't like it on everyone, but on June it works, yeah. So these are the earrings I'm giving her, you know. She's got a nice little bar in there. She's got several cartilage piercings. Like, it really suits her, you know. And yeah. Thank you so much for putting up with me for another week's worth of rambling and going into story play and, you know, the nitty-gritty of putting these guys together and their revamp, which was so long overdue. I hope you have so much fun putting these guys in your game. I'm so looking forward to seeing what you come up with. Have a really wonderful rest of your week, and take good care of yourselves. Bye!